evening and welcome to SVG-TV News for Thursday, July 10th, 2025. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. The Carnival Development Corporation (CDC) is seeking to further advance Vinci Mass by adopting a more strategic, long-term approach to planning. One of the key initiatives under consideration is a 4-phase plan aimed at keeping Vinci Mass alive and relevant throughout the entire year, rather than limiting it to a seasonal celebration. Chief Executive Officer of the CDC, Rodney Small, outlined his vision for the festival's development at a news conference today, noting that the organization aims to finalize a strategic work plan as early as September this year.
But what I could tell you from as early as September, we are going to look at our 4 phases, and these phases include planning and foundation, capacity building and training, networking and community engagement, marketing and pre-season events. All right, and those phases are going to commence as early as September, and they will include things like planning retreats, roundtable conversation, debriefing, team assignments, looking at the different departments, budgeting, of course, because we're heading into the advanced period, the central government. We want to look at some boot camp stuff with our components, some bonding sessions, of course, with some of our artists, and not just artists as singers, but everybody who is a performer, looking at connecting with the different carnivals throughout the region and internationally, not just the usual suspects, but to see how we can move into some other borders that we have not been in touch with.
Small emphasized that ongoing engagement with stakeholders and continued collaboration with partners, including those in the private sector, will be essential to the success of the initiative. He also highlighted the critical role of public feedback, which the CDC relies on heavily to guide the advancement of the festival.
We want to keep the energy up. We want to keep things alive. We do not want to go to sleep and then wake up around May. As the song says, no sleeping. So as I said, we're going to be in your faces. We're going to be engaging you. And as I mentioned, engaging you, right now you can go on our social media platforms, our surveys right there. So take a minute and go and fill out the survey. Give us your feedback, because as I said, from September we want to start implementing a lot of different things. We're going to be looking at policies, just to solidify a lot of the things that we do here at the CDC. So it's really an exciting time. There's no downtime for the CDC, which I would want to put there. Our doors are still open. You can come in and give your suggestions. I've seen persons came in yesterday and started the conversation about 2026, and we're ready to have the conversation. And most importantly, we're going to be doing a lot of monitoring and evaluation of the things that we do.
In addition to leading the organization of Vinci Mass events, the CDC is also working on broader cultural and national events, including Carnival and activities related to the country's independence celebrations.
I would want to put this bit of information out there. The CDC is also responsible. We are the secretariat and managing body for Carnival. So we're not just an organization that is just sitting around and waiting for Vinci Mass, but there are quite a number of things that we manage and we spearhead. So Calypsonian is one of those other things that we manage and coordinate, which is going to be hosted August 23rd to August 31st. So we have started that work already, coming directly off of Vinci Mass. And then we are also the secretariat for the Independence Celebration, which we have started some conversation about it, where we want to go. I know the minister have outlined what he would like to see for independence, and that is something that is going to also be major for us here at Vinci Mass at CDC, and I can guarantee you that it's going to be great also dealing with that. And then quite naturally, we're going to, after the independence period, we're going to go back fully into Vinci Mass and see how we can also collaborate with the 9 Mornings Committee for the Christmas season.
Small expressed overall satisfaction with the hosting of this year's Vinci Mass, which was his first in the role since assuming leadership of the CDC 4 months ago. And as the Carnival Development Corporation CDC undertakes its evaluation and post-analysis of Vincy Mas, Minister of Tourism and Culture Carlos James is encouraging the organization to place greater emphasis on rural carnival development. At today's news conference, Minister James expressed that while the CDC continues to enhance the national carnival product, there is a need to broaden its activities to include more rural communities across St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
We have to look at how we can revisit the rural carnivals and to have a lot more of the traditional components represented across the board. I can't remember the last time we had a calypso competition in a rural carnival. And we had it in St. George's, and we've had it in St. George's for a while, but you look at North Leeward and on the windward side and so on. We have to see how we can spread it a bit wider. We have to see how we can spread the pan to have a larger representation of the pan sides coming from the rural areas as well. And we have to, of course, also look at how we can expand our beauty pageants within the rural carnival to have a breeding ground for pageantry.
Minister James acknowledged that expanding and enhancing Vincy Mas will require additional resources. However, he believes the festival can be improved to ensure more inclusive participation and greater cultural impact
in the country. And of course, while we highlight the glowing things, permit me to also, look at some of the things where we had some gaps and how we can improve on them. So we have to obviously find the resources, and of course, it is going to boil down to a resource issue as well. And we have to see how we can find the resources to put a lot more into our rural carnivals, so that rural carnivals is not just a representation of putting a truck on the road and jumping and waving, but you're going to have elements of the components that makes up Vincy Mas and what it is, represented across the board in every rural district across St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And that is something that I am putting the board and the management of CDC on the spot now to immediately flag and highlight on how we can start from this year to put the necessary framework in place to have that realized going into 2026.
And Minister James announced at today's news conference that an Emancipation Cricket Festival will soon be launched as part of his ministry's efforts to merge sports tourism with cultural festivals. Minister James revealed that the festival will feature regional and international cricketers from several countries. He described the initiative as a historic event, not only for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but for the wider Caribbean.
We intend to have you will hear about it very soon within the next couple of days, an Emancipation Cricket Festival, which is going to field international cricketers from as far as Bangladesh, West Indies cricketers from the region, cricketers from England, cricketers from the United States, and of course international cricketers who are going to come here. And we're going to use the opportunity to identify and recognize our West Indies legends of the 1975 World Cup game, who have accepted the invitation to come here to St. Vincent and the Grenadines with us. They're going to be here with us over that tournament. And we're going to see one of the biggest international cricket tournaments for the festivals we've ever had in the entire region. And we're going to marry culture, because we're going to have some entertainment with that, local entertainment and international entertainment as part of the packaging.
The minister also noted that the Emancipation Cricket Festival will be included in a monthly calendar of events currently being developed to enhance the country's tourism and cultural offerings. Reigning Calypso monarch Rayon Madzard Primus is calling for more Calypsonians to write their own songs rather than only performing lyrics written by others. In an interview with SVG-TV News, Primus emphasized that songwriting plays a crucial role in becoming a well-rounded Calypsonian. He believes that writing one's own material can significantly enhance overall performance and artistic expression.
I think when I look at the junior Calypso competition over the years and now, what I don't like is a teacher, a parent, or somebody write a song for these youngsters to sing. And when you do that, in my opinion, it doesn't help the youngster to develop the craft. Because a calypsonian should be able to construct a calypso, right? If somebody just giving you a song to sing, then you're just a singer singing a calypso song, and you're not learning how to be a calypsonian. Because when you do that, it helps in so many areas. It's unbelievable. Because on stage, it didn't happen to me in the finals, but it happened to me in the semis when I did a guest appearance, where you might forget a line, but because you can write and you practice the art of calypso, you now have the ability to replace that line that you forget on the spot with something else that makes sense, and then you catch back yourself and you go again, and nobody would ever think that you boss. You know, to them you just improvise.
The veteran artists also encourage junior performers to create and use their own music for the junior calypso component of the festival, noting that this will help develop their creativity and connection to the art form from an early age.
I would also like to see with the youths, and I call the day after Junior Carnival. I think that Junior Carnival should be Junior Carnival, and by that I mean this: the youngsters that are singing in the Junior Soca Monarch, we should have those songs recorded. And when the junior bands are crossing the stage, they should cross the stage only to the music of their fellow youngsters. You know, because you had Lexi with her songs and stuff. And don't keep the adult music, whether it's clean or not, keep the adult music out of Junior Carnival. Give them the own road march. You know, because so when you announce the road march, you can say, okay, road march, national road march is so and so, the junior road march is so and so. You know, and give them every element of the own thing. That's what I would do if I was in that position, but I'm not.
The Zero Hunger Trust Fund officially launched the 2025 Youth in Agriculture and Science Internship Program, YASIP, today at the NIS Conference Room. Now in its third year and held under the theme From Internship to Impact Youth Empowering Agricultural Resilience, Chairperson Sheridan Lewis described the initiative as a bold idea that has evolved into a powerful movement, one that continues to open doors for young people across St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
YASIP gives aspiring minds not only a chance to learn, but to lead, innovate, and make meaningful contributions to our nation's future. Agriculture science is not just farming, it is science, business, engineering, technology, policy, and so much more. With over 50 distinct career paths in this field, there is a space for each and every one of you. And I repeat, there is a space for each and every one of you right here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Senior Project Officer of the Zero Hunger Trust Fund, Elana Moses, said the occasion is one of both celebration and recognition, and noting that it took a collective effort to bring the YASIP program to life.
Our host organizations, thank you for opening your fields, facilities, and expertise. Your commitment bridges classroom theory with practical application, creating an invaluable learning environment. To our educators who nurtured these young minds, to the families who support each intern's journey, your presence here demonstrates a shared commitment to nurturing our next generation of agricultural leaders. Interns, as you prepare to take your first steps in hands-on learning, remember that every question you ask and every seed you plant carries the potential for real impact. Lean on your mentors, network with your peers, and draw inspiration from everyone around you.
Moses explained that the engaging 6-week internship will not only provide participants with valuable technical skills, but will also integrate them into the nation's broader efforts to build resilience in agriculture and food systems. Meanwhile, Minister of Agriculture Saboto Caesar underscored the importance of wealth creation in agriculture. Reflecting on current developments, he said he believes St. Vincent and the Grenadines has the right ingredients to establish a framework that supports national development.
In other words, it's one thing to go to school, It's one thing to do well on the exams, whether it's CPEA or CXC or CAPE, or to even get a degree, a bachelor's, a master's, a PhD. How do you transform that into real wealth? And I am seeing before me an exceptional cadre of multi-talented and multifaceted young persons who are interested in creating wealth. This program is going to give you a platform, not for you to come out with the theories alone, but to be very practical. Among us, I see farmers who are doing well. I see farmers who, at the end of the month, when they go to the bank, and I'm not looking at any particular young farmer, but when they go to the bank, they can see a balance sheet that reflects their hard work and dedication.
Minister Sees emphasized that we have a nation to build and express satisfaction that in 2025, Vincentians are increasingly recognizing the importance of food and nutrition security in everyday life.
Last night I was following what was happening in the United States of America and the possibility of tariffs and more tariffs and the entire tariff war that is taking place globally. What does this mean for St. Vincent and the Grenadines? What does this mean for the OECS and CARICOM? It means simply that the food imported to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the prices definitely can be increased significantly. Therefore, we must form ourselves into a coalition of the willing. When Safia Hornbeek went around the country with the Ministry of Agriculture and the Farmers Support Company and said, we want to ensure that in every backyard in this country that you grow your own food. It wasn't a joke. And the Farmers Support Company will be launching very soon a backyard farmer ID card so that the backyard farmers will be able to enter the supply chain and will be able to sell their food to the supermarkets.
The SVG Conservation Fund continues to play a pivotal role in supporting the Youth in Agriculture and Science Internship Program, YASIP. Speaking to participants, Vice President Gideon Nash encouraged them not to focus solely on the 6-week duration of the internship, but rather on the long-term impact that they can make after completing the program.
An organization or a business that have hosted in the past persons from the program, Nature Care SVG, we have seen that the persons who are attached to us are now making an impact.
Nash noted that there are more than 50 career paths within the agriculture sector and highlighted how the industry has evolved over the years to become more innovative and appealing compared to previous generations.
No longer the part that we see persons going with a hoe and a cutlass and looking dirty, as we will say then, and in those days stained with banana stains. Today, I am a product of the new career path that we are talking about. It's horticulture. I see Rassis there shaking his head, and he's one of those who have come out of the path in terms of horticulture and making a career of it. What does the SVG Conservation Fund contribute and has contributed to the program? In 2024, we, the SVG Conservation Fund, contributed over $40,000 to the Zero Hunger to develop this program. And our contribution was made in order to support a stipend to the participants, so you're not just going and participating for 6 weeks without a little change in your hand. Training, logistics, and program coordination. SVGCF involvement was pivotal in scaling the program and aligning it with broader goals of environmental conservation, youth empowerment, and sustainable livelihood.
He also announced that the SVG Conservation Fund will provide an additional 30,000 EC dollars to support this year's cycle of the program. YASIP, a flagship initiative of the Zero Hunger Trust Fund, was launched in 2023 as a pilot project. Now in its third year, the program aims to empower young people through hands-on agricultural training while promoting innovation and sustainability within the agriculture sector. In other local news now, we hear that the Kingston Cooperative Credit Union, KCCU, remained closed today following a fatal incident in which one of its customers was shot and killed by a security guard on Wednesday afternoon. In the aftermath of the incident, KCCU has engaged professional counseling and support services for its employees and other affected individuals. In an official statement issued by the credit union last evening, KCCU confirmed that a tragic incident occurred at its headquarters on Wednesday, July 9, 2025, and resulted in the death of one person. The statement noted that operations at the Kingston location were immediately halted and the branch was closed for the remainder of the day. KCCU is profoundly saddened by this loss of life, the statement read. The credit union extends sincere condolences to the family and loved ones of the deceased, pointed out that the safety, dignity, and well-being of members, staff, and the wider community remain their top priorities. The Royal St. Vincent and Grenadines Police Force is currently conducting an investigation into the incident. KCCU has indicated that it awaits the outcome of this investigation and is cooperating fully with the authorities.